Okay, I should be resting, and I'm actually going to be doing just that after I finish this, but I just had to make this response to Kbiomech's video on fundamentalism because I thought it was pretty good, just like I think just about all of his videos are. Guys, by the way, he put out a video where a response to my proof that I didn't make up the PMs, and one of the things he stated in there was that, I was, and it's true, he is the reason why I do videos on YouTube. I was responding. His videos are so good, I had to respond to them, and that's what got me started. But yet, he doesn't have a following as big as mine. Not to say that my following is big, it isn't. I mean, I love my subscribers, but compared to some other people, I mean, I'm not even at 2,000. And there are other people like 10,000. So, and he's not at that number, and I don't think that's fair. I mean, come on, guys. If you sub to me, check this dude out, alright? This dude is smart, he's intelligent, his videos are spot on. Even if you don't necessarily agree with him, you can't say that they're not at least well argued. I mean, duh. Check his shit out. I know, it's been a while since he's made videos. I mean, maybe that's why he hasn't gotten that big a following, because it's been a while. He's had, his real life got in the way, and he had some shit to deal with. But seriously, this guy's vids are good. There's a reason why he was one of the very first people I subscribed to. Check his shit out if you haven't checked it out yet. Seriously, it's good stuff, especially for you anarchists out there. And I know there's a lot of you guys who check out my channel. Check his stuff out. It's good. You're atheists too. Check his stuff out. It's good. Anyway, you're talking about fundamentalism, and I like the fact that you were talking about fundamentalism, period. Not just religious fundamentalism, but fundamentalism of a political slant as well. And I like the fact that you derided it, on all points, because it is a problem. I just had two things I wanted to share on that particular subject. The first was when you were touching on Islam. Now, I'm a bit more versed in Christianity because that's part of what I was raised in, but I was also raised with a Muslim perspective. That's a long story. I had a Roman Catholic mother, never had a Muslim father. So I got to see both sides of things. But because I went to Catholic school and because I was around a lot of Christians, I got to see more of that, but I still got to see the Muslim perspective, and I also knew some other people who were Muslims. And I have to agree with you, this image of the crazy fundamentalist Islamic that wants to burn the whole world in jihad, that is not a good picture of a Muslim as a whole. In fact, I'll never forget when I was growing up, I was still in my late teens, I had a job, it was one of the very first jobs I had at a bookstore in New York. And there was this one particular guy there who was probably one of the deepest people in that building, one of the most spiritual. He was also very humorous. The first time we met him, he was talking about the Tao of the book wrapping machine, about how the perfect way to make sure that the plastic wrap shrunk just perfectly in the book, and he kept talking about how you need to feel the Tao. You got to go through the way, he's talking about it in those Zen sort of terms, the Taoist sort of terms. But I later on found out that he was actually a Sufi Muslim. And that was his major background, but he was also spiritual enough to respect the views of other particular religious cultures and particular religious doctrines and incorporated them as he saw fit. But I just had some really deep conversations with the guy. In fact, he helped in some ways to form some of the spiritual views that I now hold, which are now a lot of people are not going to be wondering, what spiritual views? I thought you were a straight up atheist. Some of my other beliefs, if you've been to my About TV, I already explained this stuff. So, yeah, very humble guy, very peaceful guy, cool dude, very loving guy. Muslim. I shouldn't even say but he was Muslim. He was Muslim, and most Muslims I met were like that. Polite, reserved, friendly. They weren't jumping around with AK-47s willing to put bullets in people's heads just because they didn't follow Islam, even though that's the image that's being painted in this country. And interestingly enough, one group of people who are helping to paint them that way are the fundamentalists in this country, the Christian fundamentalists, who are just as nuts. There's so many interesting parallels between the two. Both are willing to kill for their faith. Last I checked, it wasn't moderate Christians who were willing to kill abortionists. And let's even laugh at the whole, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about the whole side hug thing, which is ridiculous. Okay, we're gonna hug from the side because we don't want genitalia matching? What kind of ridiculousness is that? This kind of reminds me of some... They came up with this, by the way, because of their own problems with sexuality. As S. Sanf has pointed out in her video, sexuality begins with the mind. This is the biggest erogenous organ you have. Everything starts here. So if you hugging somebody, you suddenly feel aroused, it's because of what you got up here. It's not the other person's fault. But I notice that this is the sort of reasoning that fundamentalists have, and Islam is the same thing, same parallel. All these things that they do to women, put them in the burqas, lock them up at home, all these laws because they, the men who are dominating them, have their own problems up here. And they've gotten to the point now where even just the eyes of a woman are enough to arouse them. That's how badly repressed they are. And I shouldn't even necessarily say that because the eyes of a woman can be, quite pleasing, but that's getting into another topic. But this just goes to show the sickness is not universal to one religion. It's everywhere, and especially in political views. I'm going to read something here, and interestingly enough, it's in this book. In my next video, I'm actually going to be talking about this book right here, but if you don't own this, you should. I'm going to read a certain line from here, and it's going to surprise you who said it if you don't know. Now we're going to talk about fundamentalism on a political slant. Because there is no position on which people are so immovable as their religious beliefs. There is no more powerful ally one can claim in a debate than Jesus Christ, or God, or Allah, or whatever one calls this supreme being. But like any powerful being, the use of God's name on one's behalf should be used sparingly. The religious fractions that are growing throughout our land are not using their religious clout with wisdom. They are trying to force government leaders into following the position 100%. If you disagree with these religious groups on a particular moral issue, they complain. They threaten you with a loss of money or votes or both. I'm frankly sick and tired of the political preachers across this country telling me as a citizen that if I want to be a moral person, I must believe in A, B, C, and D. Just who do they think they are? And from where do they presume to claim the right to dictate their moral beliefs to me? And I am even more angry as a legislator who must endure the threats of every religious group who thinks it has some God-granted right to control my vote on every roll call in the Senate. I am warning them today. I will fight them every step of the way if they try to dictate their moral convictions to all Americans in the name of conservatism. Guess who said that? Some of you will never guess. Guess who said that? Senator Barry Goldwater in 1981. Food for thought, huh? This goes to show that not all conservatives are nuts. My question though is this: where the fuck are you people now? I know you're still out there. Where are you now? Because the jerks have run conservatism to the ground, to the point where I can barely look at it without some disdain. And I remember when I first read that, I'm like, holy shit, seriously? I mean, that's how bad it's gotten. Where are you people? I know you're out there because I've talked to a few of you, but it seems there's only a few of you. Where are you guys? Religious and political fundamentalism has completely wrecked your political point of view to the point where it's not even being taken seriously by many people anymore. They are associating conservatism with all the bullshit that's associated with fundamentalism. And from what I'm reading and from what I've been seeing with other conservatives, you guys aren't like that, but it's the big mouths that have taken over, and unfortunately the rational heads aren't speaking out enough. And that's the problem. Whether it's religion or politics or even sciences, it's always the big mouths that take over, and there aren't that many of them. But the rational thinking people don't say enough. We could say the same thing about atheists. It's true that we are a minority in this country. I'll lump myself up with atheists in this sense because the whole belief of a personal God looking down upon the planet, I don't believe in that. So in that sense, I'm considered an atheist. Considered a minority group in this country. Yeah, small number. There are more religious people than atheists, but you're not nearly as small a group as you guys think. Not nearly as small as you think. If you guys have actually gotten together and organized, say as a lobbying group, you'd be amazed at how much you'd be able to change the political direction of this country. All the shit that you're seeing right now with legislation being religious based and museums popping up where dinosaurs are walking alongside people and trying to keep science from schools, that shit wouldn't happen if you guys were organizing, you know, engaging your government in the way that these religious groups are doing. And there are enough of us in numbers to make this work. How do I know? Well, Jewish lobby doesn't have as much numbers as many atheists in this country, and free thinkers, I should say, in this country, but yet they have a very powerful influence. Now you guys, you're bigger in number. Just imagine what you guys could do if you were organized. Fundamentalism is a major problem. But what's an even bigger problem is that the people who aren't fundamentalists aren't speaking out enough. And it's way past time you guys did.